Hey there, fellow true crime aficionados. We're the host of Bad Acts, a true crime podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Aaron.
Join us every Thursday for twisted true crime tales of dark deeds and despicable people. We focus on lesser-known, unique stories with a new case each week. We've covered family annihilators, cannibals, revenge killings, killer kids, mysterious murders, survivor stories, and much more. We've even tackled stories of people who blame zombies, vampires, ghosts, and voodoo for their bad acts.
Of course, we know they're the only ones to blame. You can find us everywhere you get your podcast, or you can visit our website at badactspod.com.
If you like fresh stories and new perspectives on crime, Bad Acts will be your new jam. Join Bad Acts every Thursday. Stay safe, y'all.
See you soon.
Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
The following podcast discusses adult situations and gets very sweary. Sensitive ears beware.
You know what? Fuck it. Fuck my whole life.
You're listening to Fuck My Whole Life, brought to you by Fuck My Work Life, a podcast within a podcast where we venture outside of the workplace to bring you stories of mishaps and shenanigans from all aspects of life. Because if we can't laugh at ourselves, what are we even doing?
Welcome back, fuckers, to the Fuck My Whole /work life.
Fuck my whole.
You saw how I emphasized
that, yeah.
Fuck my whole?
Yeah. Fuck my whole life. And that giggle you hear in the background is our guest tonight, Mr. Dustin Holden.
I'm Jay.
Oh, fuck, and I'm Kay. And we have Dustin.
Dustin
Yay.
holding his hole.
Dustin Holden's going to talk about his whole life.
That's sad. No, I'm like, I don't know what topic to bring up, but every single time we were talking when I came to visit, Jay was like, we need to be recording this.
Yeah.
This is the thing we need to be talking about. And so now I'm like, I hope Jay remembers some of those conversations.
I know,
a little inebriated.
I certainly do not.
Any of them. Yeah.
I remember there was some medical talk. I think this was actually in the car ride. You were talking about the lawn guy or the maintenance guy, like fucking up your car.
Oh, yes. That was, because that had just happened that week before. That's right. Because we had the big snowstorm and, we're in the South. We don't get snowstorms that often. We get them like once a year, if that. They last a few days and then it's usually not that bad. It's usually just below freezing. But this time we were in the like 4 degrees, and it was cold, freaking cold. Everybody was snowed in for like a week before I left. So I didn't go to work the entire week before I left. I came to see you guys.
Nice.
I know, it was so nice. And I mean, I checked in, logged in on work and stuff like that, but there was nothing really for me to do. So so I'm over here, and the day before I heard somebody shoveling outside. I can look right out over the parking lot. I'm in the back part of the building and I can see the parking lot, and I heard somebody shoveling. They just shoveled like a little, 2-foot walking path back there. And I was totally fine, Then the next day I hear like around 6 p.m.-ish, it's getting dark, and I'm hearing ATV, or what Jay knows we call four-wheelers.
Four-wheeler?
We call them four-wheelers.
What the fuck is an ATV?
I know.
Is that from the military?
That sounds too technical. We like them four-wheelers. We don't call them semis. We call them 18-wheelers.
That's right.
You guys can count that high?
We can.
Ooh, that was
as many teeth as I got, I can count.
Goddamn fucking California woman.
Lordy. Get out that liberal sticks, girl. God.
Fucking burning the country.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah, I end up hearing that four-wheeler or ATV, whatever you want to call it. And I'm, somebody's doing something outside. I go and look. It's slightly still a little bit of daylight left. And I look, and he's on the sidewalk right underneath my window. I'm like 3 floors up, but I can see straight down. I can see my car. He's got his 4-wheeler, and he's got a plow, like a shovel plow thingy on the front of it, and he is plowing the sidewalk. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then he backs up and he plows a little more, and he backs up and he changes, and he gets a little, and I'm watching, I'm like, wait a minute, don't you dare. And he backs up and just scrapes my bumper.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. I'm like, and then he like looks at it and he's like, he knows what he's done.
Yeah.
Because he tries to move out of the way. And he acts, I'm looking at him like, you just scraped my damn bumper, didn't you? And you're stopped on it now. And now you're trying to like move it out of the way, but you're making it worse. And I'm like, you son of a bitch, you asshole. And I went, okay, maybe it didn't do much. Maybe it didn't do anything. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I saw. Maybe it just got really close.
Yeah.
So the next morning I go down, because I'm not going down right then. It's cold. It's freaking cold. And I go down and walk the dog, and I look. I'm like, son of a bitch, he scraped off paint off my bumper.
Oh.
And it's just a line, like a little strip of line. And it's not like it's the end of the world, but it's still, it's the principle,
Right.
I wasn't like backed up to where like my wheels were hitting the curb and my, bumper, the back of my car was hanging over the sidewalk. It was literally, I did not back up that far. Like, so my bumper wasn't even over the sidewalk, over the, sidewalk where the parking space was. It was, he just he got too close. He should not have gotten that close. Like, what are you trying to do? No one's driving on the sidewalk, dude. Like, we just need to walk here. You don't need to plow everything.
He's probably tipsy. He's drinking on the job.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. And they just kept going until like 10:30 at night. And all you hear is, I'm like, why did you guys start so late? Especially when the temperatures are dropping more and it's getting darker. And you're like, let's start plowing things. Like,
right.
Why? Anyway.
It's the Adderall.
Apparently they need
Adderall?
some. They need it. That's ugh. But so yeah, I sent an email to the apartment management people. I'm like, hey, by the way, I saw this. I was watching last night, heard them, told them the whole story, and I don't hear anything back. I found out later because for some reason the apartment manager, the emails just weren't going through. So she was sending emails back to me and I wasn't getting them. And I'm like, you did something wrong, because mine are getting to you, but yours aren't getting to me. I'm checking my spam. I'm checking everything. They weren't coming through. It's like, she's typed in my email address wrong or something.
Yeah.
But so like I get in my car, because that next day it was a little bit better. There's a grocery store right down the street from me. I was going to drive over real quick, grab a few things, come right back. Because it was still like crazy. It took me literally it would be a 5-minute walk. So it's like a less than a minute drive over. It took me 15 minutes to get there. So that's how bad it was. So I'm over here like, all right. I get in my car and I'm heating it up. And then he pulls up because they're still plowing. And in the morning they came back and started doing more. And he pulls up like just past me and looks at my car and looks at me. And I have sunglasses on. So it's like, you can't really tell who I'm looking at. Yeah. But he's like giving me the meanest, like mean mugging face, like, you asshole, you told on me kind of thing. I'm like, I'm not saying anything.
No, you asshole, you hit my car.
Here's the thing. There was like a couple of them doing this plowing. I did not name names. I know exactly who it was because the guy's name is the same as mine.
Yeah.
So, and last
what's
time.
His name?
It's Dustin.
Oh, Jay.
So, okay, so there was a whole thing with that too, by the way. Let me go back a little bit. So, like, within like the first couple days that I lived here, I moved in August, and it was very obvious they rushed to get me in, and they did not fully clean this apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think you told us about this. Yeah.
Because I found panties and socks and stuff behind the washer and dryer. There was dishes in the dishwasher it wasn't cleaned out, that middle thing. So it stunk.
Yeah.
I don't think the countertops have been wiped out. Like, they literally, this woman moved out. They looked and saw that she was clear. They threw up some paint, and then that was it. That was all they did. And so I came in. I was like, oh, because my cat had gone behind the dryer when I moved in. So that's how I noticed it. And there's no other reason I'd be looking back there. I'm like, oh, crap, there's women's underwear back here. Okay.
I hope they were clean at least.
I mean, they probably felt
not.
I don't know. They were behind the washer.
Yeah, it could have been between the wash and the dry.
Yeah. Was it a top loading washer or a front loading? It was top loading. So maybe they were clean.
Yeah.
Maybe they're probably just like folding them on the side, on the washer side. That's what I do. And so, but still, and I'm like, okay, so I didn't call, send an email. Hey, by the way, I found some underwear and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And they're not mine. And then I'm just sitting there, I'm getting ready to cook something. And then I hear somebody like turning their keys in the door. I'm like, what the hell? And then the door starts opening and I just slam it shut because I'm standing right there. And I just put my hand up. Nope, you're not getting in. I was like, who is that? And he was like, hello? I said, hello? And he's like, maintenance. I'm like, and I open the door. I'm like, can I help you? And he was like, do you live here? I said, yeah.
Do you live here?
Why? And he was like, well, because somebody said that there was something here. I'm like, yeah, I sent an email because I just moved in. Oh, he goes, my name's Dustin, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, my name's Dustin. And he was like, oh, so when they forwarded the email, I thought they were talking to me.
What?
Yeah.
I'm
man.
like, there was no indication that anybody was talking to you. My name was signed Dustin Holden.
Yeah.
And my email is like, what? You didn't read. That's the thing that people don't do. They don't freaking read their emails.
Yeah. They
Read your
skim.
damn emails, guys.
No.
Oh.
Most of them are bullshit.
Well, here's the thing. So I read, there's like a study a while back, and like emails, like people read a sentence or two of an email, if that, right? So that's why I try to make my emails really short, sweet, concise, to the point. Try not to, if there's like I do a whole like, hey, here's the instructions, boom. I'm like, follow these instructions. I like trying to make it to where it's not just all one big paragraph, because people tend to do that. They just make one thing, all one big paragraph, and they think somebody's going to read that. No, I'm not reading that. I'm not reading your novel. Thanks. I'm here to work, not here to like leisurely read your stupid fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so I try to make things really short. Like, hey, this is what happened. Boom, boom, bye. That's it. So he didn't read. It was literally like 2 sentences long. And he didn't even read it. And that makes me so mad. I'm like, I made it short for you. And you still didn't read it.
Maybe all he can read is his name.
Yeah. I think
Dustin. Okay.
I saw Dustin.
I think this comes down to like YouTube. If you have a YouTube channel,
I thought you said you two. I was like, no.
No, you too. No, when people have a YouTube channel, the attention span of people is so short that if your videos are over like 15 minutes long, you're not going to get people to watch the whole video.
Dude, 5 minutes.
And so with that, this is watching and listening. So with reading, their attention span is probably way less than that.
Yeah.
Way less than that 15 to 20 minute. So he probably skimmed the email, saw Dustin, and then saw like a unit number.
Panties and unit number.
Yeah. Dustin,
Ooh, panties?
Yeah.
panties, unit number. And he was like, well, I mean,
I gotta go.
I'm going to fucking check that out.
The panties somewhere in this unit, and I want them. Oh, God.
Panties up for grabs.
I hate that word, but that's one of my
It's a
most
horrible
cringy words.
word. Yeah.
Panties.
It's
hate
awful.
Hate it so much.
Yeah.
We call them suitables.
Panties.
Suitables.
Panties. It's just like, I hear panties and I think like they seem juvenile, but at the same time, it seems very like too sexual at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like a mix. I don't like it. It really, ugh.
It's a weird word.
It's so cringe. Cringe.
Moist panties.
Panties.
Oh, God. I can
about-
deal with moist, but when you pair them with panties, nope.
Stiff panties.
Ew.
Ooh, starch in your bloomers. Ooh.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Were those panties stiff when you pulled them out?
I didn't touch them. They're still
Were they-
freaking clothes back there.
Oh,
I just
really?
noticed. I looked again. I was like, "There's still clothes back here." He didn't get all of them. He was like, "Can't reach it." Oh well, leaving it.
Oh, God.
All right, so you need to set up your camera when we get done recording. Stretch out one of those wire coat hangers and just film pulling what's back there.
Right, articles of clothing up.
Yeah.
You want me to like hold it up to my face? Is it clean?
Ew, no.
And sniff? No, I'm not doing it. But could you imagine somebody doing that? It's like a man on the street thing.
Oh,
Like,
God.
I found this underwear. Can you tell me if it's clean?
Yeah.
People would too. They would for their 15 minutes of
The
fame.
name of this show is called Would You Wear It?
Ew, would you smell it?
But you can only tell by smelling it.
Ew.
Oh, by the way, I forgot I was wearing this. So I bought a San Diego shirt.
Aw.
Nice.
Wait, did you buy that when you were here?
Yeah, when I was in the airport.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm going to get one. Might as well.
Aw,
I want a
yay.
souvenir.
I'm going to say one more thing. Fuck that place.
San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck 'em. Okay.
Fuck San Diego.
Yeah.
We'll
Fuck
put
that
it out there.
place.
Okay,
Might
so
as
back to now you're in your car, you got your sunglasses on.
Oh yeah. So he sees me, he mean mugs me, and he's looking at me like, you son of a bitch. And like, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are, strange person. Like, I'm just not there.
You just do the shrug.
I go and get the groceries. I come back. I check my email. Oh no, he called me. I'm like, I ain't answering this phone. You're not in my phone, so it went straight to voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not calling him back. Because if I call him back, then he's going to be in my phone. He'll be able to call me, and I'll go straight through it. I don't want that. I don't want to talk to you. I talk to you through email. That's how we do. And so then he sends me a text. No, he didn't send me a text. He sent me an email. And so I responded back through email. I was like, look, dude, what do you want to do about this? I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, well, you can't really do anything. I just want you to be aware that you do these things. Oh, I didn't realize I did that. I'm like, you fucking liar. I sat there and watched you.
Stop. Yeah.
You thought about it. You like paused, looked at what you were doing. And I'm like, you knew what you were doing. Don't freaking lie to me. I sat there and I told them, I watched you do it. Like, like I'm not stupid. Don't gaslight me. No, I don't think so. And he's like, oh, I understand. I'd be upset too if something like that happened in one of my vehicles. I'm like, then you understand that you shouldn't have done what you done.
Or even if, like, you know, it was an accident, so you own up to it, you leave a note, you offer to fix it,
or
you make
something,
it right.
You know, or like, hey, by the way, I ran into this guy's car. I felt really bad about it. You should have fessed up. You didn't do it. Here's the thing: the maintenance around here sucks so bad.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
feel
not
like
just
that's everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been to people's apartments and I've been there for days, stayed for a few times, you know, for a few days and stuff. And I don't hear people complain about this stuff as much as I'm complaining. I'm like, am I complaining too much? Is it me because I'm new to apartment living?
Yeah. You kind of get used to it. You kind of get used to it. Like if something goes wrong here, Jay fixes it. Because otherwise we'd be waiting for weeks.
Yeah.
Or if they show up, they do such a shit job that you're just like,
I think when you were telling us this story, when you were here, I was telling you how my shower was leaking up here and it leaked into the ceiling. And so downstairs, we had this big wet spot downstairs. And our maintenance man was like, oh, I'm going to come fix it. So he came and he fixed the shower to where it wasn't leaking. And then what was it? It was like a week later. He was like, oh, I need to let the ceiling dry downstairs and then I'll fix that. You know, we'll come and once it dries, we'll repaint it.
Well, he didn't even say that. He said he would come fix it because we were worried about mold growing.
Yeah.
Right.
So took a day off work, stayed home the whole day, which I'm not complaining about. Like, who would? He came after I would have gotten off work and pulled a fucking spray paint can out of his tool belt, spent 2 minutes spray painting the ceiling with this white spray paint because the ceiling's white, and then fucking was like, good.
Yeah.
And then left.
I was like, what about mold? And he was like, no, this is special anti-mold paint. I was like, okay, but you're only spraying it on one of the surfaces that got fucking wet.
Yeah.
Like,
it was such bullshit.
We're just like, okay, bro.
And it was after that, I was like, okay, anytime something happens here, I just need to tell them to give me the parts and I will do the work.
Yeah.
Because if I let them do the work, it's going to take months. And also, they're not going to do it right.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I started finding out, like, you know, little things like when they say luxury apartments, that doesn't mean luxury.
No.
It means carbon copy of like big space. It doesn't mean like the amenities are great. It doesn't mean so like you're talking about how you can hear your neighbors and whatnot. I'm like, I can hear my neighbors. Like I can hear their people in your apartment buildings, but like I can hear them and feel them walking around and closing doors and cabinets and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I can hear almost full conversations from my neighbor next door. I live so this behind me is a wall to the hallway. And then over here's a wall to the hallway. I live in the corner of a hallway. So like I get two sides of this hall. So I hear a whole conversation going on around me as I walk down the hall.
Yeah.
And these people are like I've never heard people talk this loud in normal circumstances. They're like, hey, we're in a hallway that echoes. Let's talk loud. And I'm like, why? And I don't understand why we don't have a carpet or something on the walls to help dampen the echo in the hallway. I don't understand. It just drives me nuts. And I live above a restaurant, and there's shops underneath us, the building as well, underneath the apartments. And, the building next door, same thing. So we all share like a big trash can that's got one of those compactors in it. So when you close the door, it starts to compact. Here's the thing, that only works if you close the door. So what these people, and I've watched them, the people, it's not the residents that are doing this. It's the people who own the stores and the people who run this restaurant, who throw stuff in there and leave the door open and just have it pile up and pile up higher and pile up higher and pile up higher. And then somebody comes along and shuts the door. The bottom part gets compacted, but then you end up with a bunch of crap on, underneath that falls down. And then you have stuff, and just things keep getting piled up on top of stuff. And so then it ends up where they have to take the thing back for repairs because we've screwed it up so much, because these businesses like, hey, let's throw full boxes in there instead of breaking those boxes down, which is what you should do if you're a store. If you run a store, by the way, if you have a trash can or anything like that, break your boxes down. That means taking a key or a knife or scissors and cutting that tape and breaking it down to where it folds flat. That is the best way. Just telling you right now. Been doing it for a while.
This has been Dustin's PSA announcement to store owners. Thank you.
Used to work for like a Walgreens, CVS type store, like pharmacy, and we had to go out and jump on the trash because no one was breaking down boxes. I had to go and pull boxes out of the trash and break them down. So because they only came once a week, and they only come here once a week. And this one trash compactor is for 4 buildings.
Oh, God.
Damn.
So there's at least 6 units per floor in each building. And so there's like 12 units in this building, 6 in the next, 12 in the next. So you've got a good 18. No, wait, excuse me. Dang, that's a lot more. 30 units.
And only one thing?
Plus stores and restaurants using one big trash can. And these people aren't breaking stuff down. I'll go out there sometimes. It is so stuffed. There's like a pile of trash.
Yeah.
Just laying next to, I'm like, and this is supposed to be, quote, luxury apartment living.
Well, the apartment may be luxury, but that doesn't mean the people that are living around you are luxury. That's the thing.
Does your bedroom have a bathroom connected to it?
Oh, yeah, I have a bathroom.
Yeah, well,
That's
yes,
luxury.
I know you have a bathroom. But like
your apartment has
You got a bathroom in there?
You don't have to walk
open the
out
sink.
of your bedroom to go to the bathroom. You can just go straight. So that's probably why it's a luxury apartment.
Because there's not a bathroom attached to the bedroom?
Because there's a master bath. There's a master bathroom.
Yeah,
so there's a bedroom that has a bathroom connected to it to where you don't have to walk out of the bedroom to get into the bathroom. That's probably why it's
and you have a washer and dryer in unit. That's a luxury right there.
Oh, that is a luxury.
Here's the thing. Most apartments around here do have that.
Oh, God.
Most apartments around here do have that. But like I found other units in other apartment complexes nearby that cost the same that actually have a pool and a gym and actual signed parking. And I don't have to park in a couple of parking lots over in case this place gets busy and a bunch of people are coming and shopping.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. I don't have a designated spot for tenants.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And they put that designated tenant spot like a couple of parking places away. This is for residents only. I'm like, why am I parking all the way over there? I actually pay here, guys. I pay to be here. Like, why are you making me, I mean, it's enough that I don't have covered parking, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. So these walls are super thin. They're thinner than what I've been in other people's apartments. They're like I said, I could hear some things in your place, but it was nothing like it is here.
Yeah.
Like, this is like echo.
What do you mean? You could hear me snoring? Is that what you meant?
I could hear you, but it didn't bother me. I'm used to my dad.
Yeah, I can hear you too. I can hear you snoring too. Okay.
Was I snoring? Did I snore?
I didn't hear you snoring.
Okay.
I didn't hear you snoring either.
I wouldn't doubt it though, because I do wake myself up all of a sudden. I'm like, whoa, what the hell is that?
Oh, that's sleep apnea.
I know. I thought about that too. No, for real. Like it's happened a few times. Like when I'm going to bed, all of a sudden I'm like,
Yeah.
like I'm catching my breath.
Yes, because you stop breathing when you're
But
sleeping.
that's only when I'm going to sleep. It doesn't happen while I'm asleep. It's only when I'm falling asleep. It happens maybe once a night. And I'm
He
like,
does it.
I
He
start
will
breathing
stop
again.
Breathing.
Eventually, I start breathing. Look, I wake up every morning, so we're good.
So far.
we're alive. Come on. It's totally fine.
I would like, never mind.
What?
I'd like to go down the rabbit hole of how many people have actually just stopped breathing from sleep apnea and never breathed again.
That's not the issue. The issue is not sleeping well can cause other issues down the line.
I sleep fine.
Okay.
I mean, I think my sleep apnea and my
sleep fine.
snoring makes you not
Yeah.
sleep okay.
That's the issue.
So I think
I'm
that's,
gonna die of a heart
that's
attack.
the issue.
Yeah.
I'm going to die young because I can't sleep because of your snoring.
Because of
Sleep
your fucking apnea. You can't breathe, so I can't sleep. What the fuck is that about?
The best was when we went camping with some of our friends.
Oh, yeah.
And they sleep in a nice Airstream, and we're like in the tent outside the Airstream, and they had small children, and we were middle of the night, and Jay's snoring up the storm because when we camp, we just drink all day.
Yeah.
And the next morning, my friend told us that her son woke her up in the middle of the night. Mom, is that a bear out there? No, that's just Uncle Jay snoring.
Yep.
It was just like echoing throughout the campground.
I remember when I was I don't remember it, but I remember the story when I was a little kid and my dad was snoring and I woke up my mom and was like, "Are there lions in the house?"
I think I got used to my dad snoring. Like as a child, like I knew he snored. It was loud too. Like it just everybody in the house just got used to it because it was like you heard it. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
He would go on hunting trips and whatnot, and like his friends would like try to stuff socks into his mouth, like while he was asleep. It's like, oh, what the hell? And but I just got used to it. So like I would, as a kid, I would crawl in between my parents and bad night, bad dreams or whatever, and he would just like really loud. I'm just like sleeping.
Yeah, so comforting.
It was comforting because it was my dad snoring. So it's like he's sleeping next to me, and I'm comforted,
Right.
And so if somebody snores next to me, I don't wake up because of it. But if I do wake up and I notice it, then it's hard for me to go back to sleep because I'm like paying it because I'm not used to somebody snoring next to me anymore. So
Same.
it made me like, oh, now I gotta listen.
All the years we've been together and you're
there.
not just used to me snoring.
Nope.
I mean,
Nope.
look, my snoring is much worse when I've been drinking.
Oh, well,
It
that's
is.
everybody.
Like,
Yeah.
I know that
It
because
is.
I wake myself up snoring.
Mm-hmm.
And like you still snore when during January you were still snoring, but if I just gently touch your arm, you'll be like, oh, okay. And you'll like roll over and you'll stop snoring long enough that I can fall back asleep.
Yeah.
But when you've been drinking, I'm like shaking you.
Oh, yeah.
Stop snoring. And
This
you're
is
just
why
like,
we have another room.
You can run a train through the room and I'll think it's challenging me to who can be louder.
yeah. So I usually just end up going somewhere else and sleeping.
Yeah.
That's never fun. It really isn't. And it really isn't fun waking yourself up with a snore like,
Oh, yeah.
What the hell was that me? Like
I only wake myself up snoring when I'm laying on my back.
Yeah.
Like when Ghost is being a dick, there's sometimes where he will not allow me to sleep on my side. You lay on your back and I'm going to lay on top of you because I own you and that's how we're going to snuggle. And so I'll lay on my back and there's times when I'm doing that where like I have the
Yeah.
where
That's
I
when
can
you
tell,
stop breathing is when you're on your back.
That's where when I can tell like it's been a good minute since I've taken a breath. I've just been sitting there like not breathing.
Oy.
But on my side, I don't.
It's not as bad on your side.
Yeah, I don't really snore that much. And I actually heard that sleep apnea, the way they treat it is if you're not going to wear the mask, they tell you to sleep on your side. And that's how they treat it.
Yeah, but some people that doesn't work because of back or hips. You can't really sleep on your side because that hurts.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
I mean, I'll wear the mask. I learned that lesson dealing with my mom. Wear the mask. She didn't want to wear the mask, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, Mom, wear the mask. Wear the mask. She wouldn't. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I'm like, I know you don't. It's one of those things. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like having this thing on your face when you're trying to sleep. But you're going to
actually sleep.
Yeah.
And you'll get used to it. You'll just be okay with it.
Right.
I've also heard that people that put the mask on, when they get used to sleeping with the mask, they've never slept better.
Yeah. That's my mom. My mom got a CPAP, I don't know, year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Or so. And she's like, I have never slept better in my life.
Your memory's got to be better and everything because you're just pulling out all the carbon dioxide. You know what I mean? Because you're not expelling enough of it. So when you have too much in your system, it messes with your brain, your memory. It just gets shot. Like you can't. Short-term memory's gone, and just the smallest things. You're not sleeping very well. You might have more nightmares, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, yeah, you need it. You need that pulled out. You know,
I don't lose my memory. What were we talking about?
Not yet. Who are you?
I do. Maybe you're sucking my memory out of me because my memory sucks.
He's like the gentleman. He's just like sucking your soul like out of your body as you sleep.
Or what was that
damn
movie?
Succubus.
Look, I'll take the blame at this point. I'll just take the blame for all of it.
What was that 80s movie where the cat, or no, it was like the troll that would come and
That was
suck
Cat's Eye.
the breath?
Cat's Eye, yes.
You know, Stephen King's Cat's Eye.
They thought it was the cat, but the cat was actually the one like battling the trolls.
Well, then at the end, like, because the whole thing, like, oh, we don't let the cat sleep in your room because they try to steal your soul. That's you know, and the cat kept seeing the troll come out of the wall.
Yeah.
And finally came in, killed the troll. The parents see like these troll guts and everything after it threw the troll to the fan. And they're like, oh, crap, this cat actually saved you. We'll let the cat sleep in here with you. And then it cuts to that night. And the cat it was like, cats like to sleep in your chest and try to steal your soul or try to smother you. So at the end, like it's Drew Barrymore, little Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
And she's laying, and the cat gets on her chest and just like right up in her face. And like, oh my God, he was trying to steal her soul the whole time. Like it was like a battle. Like that's where it kind of leaves off. You're like, oh, so he actually was bad for the little girl. He just was jealous of the troll getting what he wanted.
Getting his soul.
Yeah.
If you love talking blockbuster movies, comic books, animation, and TV shows, check out Talking Smack, hosted by me, Josh Scar, along with my rotating cast of co-hosts. We will talk superheroes, movies, animation, and comics with you every Wednesday on your favorite podcatcher.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think what else I was going to talk about. Oh, so medical stuff.
Mm-hmm. That seems to be the theme now.
I know. Everybody's like medical stuff.
That seems to be the trials and tribulations of everyone is like medical stuff.
Yeah.
Well, because it sucks. I mean, it just sucks. It's the medical industry mainly. Mm-hmm. It's not just that I got sick. It's how it was treated. And so, God, man, that was almost 24 years ago. Wow. Anyway, I went off to college in 99, and I was already a thin kid. I've always been really tall and skinny. Like you could see bones. Like when I sat down, you could feel my ass bones, that kind of thing. Like I had no meat on me at all. Mm-hmm. And I was almost 6'4". Now I've lost like an inch. So like,
you're shrinking?
Yeah, everybody shrinks as you get older. Hey kids, guess what? You start losing the height.
Your spine compacts, and that's why you have back pain, and you get shorter.
Yeah, it's always fun. Mm-hmm. And your pants that you had to get that were longer, I used to get like 34-inch length, and now I'm like, those are way too long now. No, I had to get 32s, and now they're still somewhat short, but they're better than 34s. Yeah, so I was getting sick. I went away to school to St. Louis, and I just kept losing weight, and I kept having stomach problems, and I didn't know what was going on. Like I would literally like get cramps, like, oh my God, this pain out of nowhere just shoot right through my stomach. And it was like crippling. It sucked. Like I would sit down like, oh my gosh, and just hold my hand up to my stomach the entire time. So, my mom, over some break, probably second semester was, hey, all right, I'm going to take you to this doctor. We went to this doctor who was a gastroenterologist, which is who I needed to see, GI. And I told him about what was going on. He pushes on my stomach a little bit. He goes, oh yeah, you have irritable bowel syndrome. So here, take these pills.
And he got that. He got that by pushing on your stomach?
Yeah. Hearing me talk about it and then pushing on my stomach.
He didn't even have to push on it. He could have just looked at it and known that like you need a pill.
here's the thing. So he goes, here's this pill. And it's a pain pill for the pain in my stomach. Let's not treat what's causing the pain.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just make sure you can endure it.
If you had GI issues, pain meds are going to fuck that up even more.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know that now, but as like a 19-year-old kid,
Right.
I was
You
like,
trust the doctor.
You had no idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, the doctor did not like it when I said, shouldn't you run some tests? He did not like that.
Who in the fuck are you to tell me how to do my job?
He did not like that. And then less than a year later, I end up in the hospital because my stomach will not pass anything through it because it is so messed up. Like it is so clogged up.
Yeah.
And I'm over here thinking about that doctor and I'm like, I could probably sue him. Because I asked him to run tests and he flat out refused.
Right.
I didn't. I should have. Man, there's so many times I'm like, I should have done that. Man, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Like I was eating a Chick-fil-A sandwich once. This was back before we knew how bad Chick-fil-A was. But I was eating a Chick-fil-A sandwich and had a bone in it that I nearly choked on.
Yeah. You could have owned Chick-fil-A and you could have
The
turned
name
that whole
says
company around.
filet. There should not be any bones in this. I didn't do anything about it, right? I went back again. The next time, had a damn bone in my stomach. It was like the fates were telling me, sue these people. And I just didn't do it. And
They deserve it.
Makes me so mad. But so yeah, I was in the hospital in 2000 because I came back home. I didn't go back to school after the first year.
Mm-hmm.
Came back home, stayed home, kept losing weight. When I went into school, my freshman year of college, I was like 160 pounds, which is typical for a skinny kid. You know what I mean? Even if how tall you are, you're not going to gain the weight till later, unless you've been like an athlete of some sort, you know, which obviously I'm not. And I am no athlete. I'm still trying to like bulk up my legs. It's really sad. So yeah, I ended up coming home. I got really sick. I kept losing weight and I kept losing weight. And like by the time I ended up, so I think it was October. This is really sad. Halloween, I went and put on some sweats and like got towels and stuff and put them in my sweats too because I was going as a fatter person.
Oh.
And all it did was look like I had lumpy clothes on. Like it didn't look like I was gained weight at all. Like it just looked really bad.
Yeah.
And I really wish I had a picture of that. I don't have any pictures, by the way, from this era, except for one picture from the hospital.
Oh, wow.
My brother went to like Florida for some work thing and came back from Disney World and brought me like mouse ears. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one picture. But I ended up down to, before I had to have my surgery, or actually when I first went into the hospital, I was down to 112 pounds.
Oh my
God. That's not good.
So I
You were
went
a
from
skeleton.
earlier that year, probably not spring break, but mid semester earlier that year in the spring to the fall, I had lost 50 pounds.
Holy shit.
Fuck.
And and the doctor was like, here, just take this pill. Like,
Yeah.
And I end up in the hospital. So I go in there November 1st that year and I'm there for like a week. And the doctor's like, yeah, you have Crohn's disease and you can't have anything to eat. So we're just going to put you on a clear liquid diet for right now. So I got out on my very first election day.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for a week and I was 19 years old. It was my first presidential election that year. I was like, oh my God, I've got to vote. My mom, because we got out, our polls closed at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
I got out of the hospital at 6 and my mom's like, let's go. And I've never seen my mom drive like this. It was amazing. She wanted me to be able to cast my vote.
Yeah.
We booked it. I got there and we're listening to like NPR on the way and we're talking about, they're calling it for this state. They're calling it for this state and blah, blah, blah.
Don't you call it for this date yet. I got to vote.
Was that when? No, not Obama.
No, this
It
was
was
20.
the first W, I think, election. So yeah, I get there and I get to, because it's at our high school library, was a voting poll. And I get there and they are literally locking the door as I walk up. It is like 3 minutes before close, but nobody's there. So they're like, nobody's coming in. I finally get there. I'm banging on the door like, what? I said, I just got out of the hospital and I just want to cast my first vote. And they're like, oh, bless your heart. They do that thing. They literally said it. And I went in and I cast my vote and I turned it in and they all clapped for me. There was only like 3 women there and it was just them. Like, oh, it was nice. I go out to the car and I get in the car and I sit down and my mom's still listening to NPR and they're calling it for Mississippi. And I'm like, motherfucker, they didn't even count my vote.
I could change the whole election.
I could have. You never know. I'm like, don't. That's where I went. Well, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
My first election, and I learned that it's bullshit. Like they don't count every vote. They don't count every vote.
Nope.
Well, because you can vote anywhere in the state at any time. But once the poll closes where the electoral college matters, the rest of the state doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I learned that now, Jay.
Yeah.
When you're 19, you're like, my vote.
The possibilities are endless. That kind of.
Yeah, you just want that sticker.
Exactly. I don't think we had those at the time. I never got a sticker that day, but wish I had now. Thanks for pointing that out. Anyway,
that's my whole life.
That's probably why those women were like, well, bless your heart, you dumb son of a bitch. Because we all know, like, anybody who's
this
from
don't
the
matter
South
and you
knows
don't get a sticker.
knows what, well, bless your heart means. That means
you're one of them queer boys, aren't you?
Son of a bitch.
Isn't that cute? You think you're going to make a difference. All right. But yeah, that's what it felt like. It does. It kind of felt like that. So a few weeks later, the week of Thanksgiving, I end up in the hospital again because things are still not going through. Whatever they're doing is not working. And so they end up in the hospital for 2 weeks this time.
So wait, can I interrupt you for one second? So when they released you the first time, the only treatment was liquid diet?
No, they gave me liquid diet. They put me on prednisone to swell, all that stuff. So, and so they're like, all right, this should work. Hopefully this will, bring the swelling down. You'll be able to, and so they waited, and then I ended up back in the hospital because I was throwing up everything I ate, or anything that could pass through was just all liquid. So it was, not
good.
It wasn't fun. And so I ended up in the hospital again on clear liquid diet. They literally put a tube going into my nose and down my throat to suck out anything that went in.
Oh God.
Jesus shit.
So I couldn't have anything. I had a drip thing that had vitamins and stuff in it. I was not allowed to have anything. They're like, your stomach needs to rest, right? You can have liquid things. You can have Jell-O. You can have coffee without creamer. I'm like, ooh, I don't like that.
That doesn't sound good, all that acid in your empty stomach.
Well, it was clear, technically. You could brew it and you could kind of see through it. So they kind of that's clear. Or any kind of I can have a popsicle. I could have juice, I can suck on hard candy. That was it.
But also you could take more pills though, right?
Well, not in the hospital, but
no, he was on a drip.
I had a pump. I had a thing I can push for pain, and you better believe it. Every 10 minutes when it was allowed for me to push, I pushed that button whether I felt pain or not. That's what we call addiction to painkillers, guys.
Yeah.
So what's funny is that. So I could have the hard candy. And so my mom went and she was like, hey, I got you some hard candy. Here's some cinnamon. So it's No, here's the thing. I'm sucking on the cinnamon candy, which is red.
Oh, God.
And it's going into my stomach. And then it's coming right back out of my nose.
Oh, God.
And the nurse comes in and is like, oh, my God. And she's freaking out because it looks like blood is coming out of my stomach. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, it's just hard candy. It's just hard candy.
God.
She's like, oh, my God. She's freaking out. I'm like, no, it's fine.
That sounds awful.
It was not great. The great thing was, though, my mom worked at this hospital. She was on a different floor. And so all the nurses knew that my mom worked there. So they all treated me extra nice.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting the luxury treatment. They would come in and play board games with me. They had a little training, kind of back in the day when you had the cart with the TV VCR on it when you bring it into school.
Yeah.
It was like that. They brought that in there. My mom, there was a Blockbuster down the street. My mom was renting videos for me so I could watch him in the no one in the hospital got this kind of treatment. So that was the good thing about, having an in,
Yeah.
And the fact that we were at the hospital, my mom knew all the doctors. She's like, I'm going to get you with this doctor, this GI doctor. He's the one. You want it. And he took me on as a patient. And he was like, we're going to figure this out. So, we did that. We had the treatment. So I was there for a couple of weeks. I didn't get to have Thanksgiving dinner. My mom even skipped dinner. She made dinner and left and came up there to see me. And then all she did was bitch about how my grandmother was there and put all the pots and pans and everything away in random places. She couldn't find anything for the longest time.
Bitch is touching my fucking pots.
She was like, damn it. Just leave it. She told them to leave it. You're like, well, we'll help. She's like, no. Because then she couldn't find anything for the longest time.
That would be a good future episode of Fuck My Whole Life is in-law stories.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
yeah.
in-laws.
Just the stupid shit they do. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just stupid. Like, it's funny how the gifts my mom got from my grandmother, like, it was very obviously like recycled gifts.
Oh, God.
Like that candle, you know, like I don't know if you've seen that in a SNL video. That one candle, it keeps getting passed around. It was that kind of crap. And she's like, it has dust all over it. And she's like, thanks. Like, you know, she gave me thanks. She gave me socks for our anniversary once. Like, that was nice. Happy anniversary. Your feet look cold. So I ended up out of the hospital, and I'm out of there it was at the beginning of December. I got out. I was out for all of December. Things was going a little better. I was eating, you know, and my mom had looked up a bunch of stuff, and they decided, you have Crohn's disease, and this is what's going on. So my mom, this is 2000, remember, because this is relatively, you know, people didn't know about Crohn's disease then. It wasn't advertised on TV. There wasn't, you know. Yeah. So she was doing all of her research online and everything, and she found books and whatnot. She bought the books. My mom got into it. She was like, this is my baby. I'm going to find out what's going on. And she was like, so, you know, at this time, Crohn's disease was really only reported mostly in like late 20s, early 30s Jewish men.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, that's strange. All right. So she's like, so this is the type of stuff you need to have. And it was basically like a keto diet, you know, not a lot of bread, really no bread. Like, try to use like wheat flour or almond flour or something, you know, not the usual stuff, everything alternative, which was weird to us, especially back in 2000. That is not a thing in Mississippi. I'm probably in California had more Whole Foodsy type of stuff, but not here. So I was making pancakes with like almond flour, and I was feeling a little better. Still, everything wasn't great. I was still not feeling the best. Of course, Christmas time came and went, and I still ate stuff at Christmas, you know, being stupid, but it was Christmas. You know, that's what you do. I think it was just before, or was it New Year's? I don't know. We went to my grandmother's house. We always go down there after Christmas. We usually went either Christmas Day or like a few days later. And my dad went with me. My brother didn't go this year. It was just me and my dad. And New Year's Day, I'm waking up like, I don't feel good. I really don't feel good. I want to go home. I want to go home now. I need to go home now, Dad. Now. Like, he was kind of like, oh, it's okay. It's fine. My dad, I don't feel well. You need to take me home now. So we drove. It was like 2 hours away. And we drove all. I was like, we need to go straight to the hospital. He's like, no, we're going to go home. So we went home. And I'm like, okay. And then so New Year's Eve, I'm like, all right, I'm going to the hospital because I need to go. Went in the hospital. And this time I was there for 3 weeks.
Holy shit.
And in that time, I had to have 1.5 feet of my intestines removed because stuff was just not getting through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sucked, but at least I got that done. I started feeling better. I could eat a little more, you know, and I was still taking like the prednisone and whatnot, and just a whole bunch of crap.
Did they figure out why they had to remove 1.5 feet of your intestines? Did they ever figure that out?
Or was it just like, let's try this? Or was it
just like, was that part of your intestines just dead?
It was dead. Like, he was trying to repair it for the longest time. He could see it. Like, they gave me a colonoscopy in like the November visit, in which I like was so hot. Like, I kept telling you, I kept pushing that painkiller pump. So I was so messed up on painkillers and getting so used to it that I was like high off painkillers, but I was awake. Yeah. And he was like, hey, I'm going to give you some stuff for this, you know, colonoscopy. I'm like, all right. But I pushed through it and I stayed awake the entire time.
Oh, God.
But I had so many painkillers, I didn't feel anything. I was just awake. I could feel like something in my stomach because I could feel the camera up there. I could feel it moving around. But it was kind of like just like a gas bubble. It wasn't bad. Not even a hard gas bubble, just a little bit like gurgly, like what the hell? I was like, ooh, I feel that. And I was looking up at the screen. I'm like, oh, that's the inside of my stomach? Ooh.
Oh, that's creepy.
And then when I'm leaving, I'm like,
up your beehole?
Oh, yes.
So it wasn't the stomach, it was the colon.
Well, yeah,
like
but
colonoscopy.
Not my technical stomach. No, but you say your whole midsection is your stomach, is what you call it. You know what I mean? So he goes through it, and I'm like, "Can I get a picture of that?" Like, I'm asking him, like, all high, "Can I get a picture of that?" And he's like, "Sure, okay." So they printed out a picture and gave it to me. And then for Christmas, I decided I made it into a Christmas card.
Oh God.
I did. What I did was
what else do you do?
Hey everyone, here's my colon.
When Kinko's was still around, before it became into FedEx office, when Kinko's was still around, I went to Kinko's like, I want to put garland around this image.
They're like, what is it?
I'm like,
Well, that's the inside of my beehole.
and I was like, so my thing was happy holidays from my colon to yours.
Oh my gosh.
And so I sent it to my doctor, the ZI doctor. He thought it was the most hilarious thing he's ever seen. And so he proceeded like years to come, kept like hanging it up every year. Of like, this was a decoration. This is a Christmas decoration. I got like concert tickets off a radio station with it. They're like,
that's
do you have some
awesome.
unique Christmas decorations? I'm like, I got a unique card. And they're like, well, let's see it. And they're like, oh yeah, you deserve this. So I got like,
It's McCullen.
Oh, yeah, you win.
it was kind of awesome. Like that kind of stuff happened. That was great. So I got my surgery done and everything's great. And, years going by, I'm all concerned about, okay, all right, I'm tired of looking skinny. I'm tired of being this skinny. Like I'm skinny, like deathly ill, right? I was really like, you're thinking like Christian Bale when he lost all that weight for The Machinist or whatever, or even Donnie Wahlberg at the beginning of The Sixth Sense. Like that's what I looked like. It was sad.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to look like that anymore. Of course I felt bad all the time. I'm feeling better now because I had the surgery. I want to look good too. And so like I go, you do your follow-up appointment with the surgeon, and they look at you and make sure, I had staples, which I still had the scar and I still had the little spots where the staples were. And I'm asking him like, hey, it's like 6 weeks later. And I'm like, hey, when can I work out? I want to, get into shape. And he was like, oh, you could probably start at any time now. You're probably fine. You're so young and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. I didn't start right away. I waited almost a year after this whole appointment before I really started into it. And I had gotten like some VHS tapes of like 8-minute buns and 8-minute abs and
Billy
like,
Blanks' Tybo.
Yeah, I was doing that stuff. So I was like, let me try it. And I'm doing like the 8-minute abs and whatnot. And I do it for like a good couple of weeks. And I'm like, something's wrong. And then I developed a hernia.
Oh, God.
From the surgery because I was working out.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And
you had your intestines cut
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
So my intestines had moved through and gotten stuck in some random muscle.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And were dropping down into my balls.
Oh, my God.
So my sack looked like a damn piece of grapefruit. It was huge. And that was only when I got up to walk around. So when I laid down for the night and I looked down, it looked like normal.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the morning, it's totally fine.
Everything just
and then as I'm walking, all of a sudden, plop, right down. And it hurt. And that went on for a while. And I'm like, oh my God. So finally had to get
This
that
ain't
taken
right.
care of. I'm like, so am I not allowed to like work out? Like,
Yeah.
And I told him, all I did was work out a year after you told me I was able to.
Right.
Yeah.
What would have happened had you done it then?
Right then. I mean,
Jesus.
damn. Got that taken care of. So I was like, I'm not working out for a while. Like I was scared to death of working out after that.
I'm not ever working out again.
Never. I don't need this. Thanks. I did eventually, and I got a little more in shape, but whatever. So yeah, that happened. So like, it's like a snowball effect. Everything just kept happening. So my doctor was like, I would still have stomach problems, right? I had to get FMLA at my job, and so I had to call in like, I don't feel good. My stomach's upset. I was having, stomach problems all day. And I'm like, I just don't want to sit there. And sometimes I wasn't like cramping or anything, but I was just that uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't want to go to work and then have to get up and go to the bathroom all the time.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't want to do that. Got in, used to doing FMLA. That was not fun. So eventually my doctor's like, well, here, let's put you on Remicade. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Remicade. It's used mostly for like rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
Right. And what it is like, it's an IV drip and you get it for like 3 hours.
Oh,
you just sit there and let it drip into you for like 3 hours. Once a month, maybe once every couple months, something like that. Just depends on what you need. My aunt gets it. She has rheumatoid arthritis. And supposedly Crohn's disease is like in that family of arthritis, like somehow.
Is that like autoimmune type of thing?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the thing is with Remicade, which I didn't realize at the time that I started it, but I did it for a good couple of years. It brings down your immune system. Makes you, you can do things. And, if you have arthritis and whatnot and you can't move very well and you get this and you're like, whoa, I can dance a jig, but you're more susceptible to getting sick.
Right.
That said, guess what happened to me? I got sick all of a sudden. I just got sick. Like I was just getting fevers and then breaking fevers in the middle of the night, like waking up in a pool of sweat, And then I was just like so tired. I'm like, why am I so drained of energy all the time? What's going on? I didn't know what to do. So I went to the doctor and I'm like, it seemed like it sounds kind of like you have a sinus infection, like the way they were doing it. Like, here's a Z-Pack. I'm like, here you go. Like, okay. So I take it. And I
take that shit on top of your immune system being destroyed.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. So they're like, here's a Z-Pack. And I did. I felt great. Gave you energy, had B12 and all that, all that good stuff. And so then like a day after I would finish out the 5-day Z-Pack, I would start to feel crap again. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, I don't know if I need more or what. And they're like, here's another one. And I'm like, okay.
Just take more
so
shit.
It felt great. And so like, this is like a whole month going by and I'm feeling like crap. Right. And meanwhile, I had moved into a townhouse type of apartment, kind of like in your places, upstairs, downstairs. And sitting there, I had a job. My roommate, like there was the college is nearby. He went to school there. He would walk over. And I think I might have told you about this actually while I was there. But I'm sitting there just watching TV and the garbage truck goes by.
Yeah.
I think I told you about this.
Yeah.
And goes over the speed bump in the parking lot and I'm here, bang, 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 I'm like, and I hear it again, bang, 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 I'm like, all right, whatever. Just watching TV, just laying there all sad and sick.
Yeah.
And then my roommate comes home not long after that. And he's like, dude, have you been out here? I'm like, no, obviously I haven't. I'm not. He was like, there's a dead body out here. I'm like, what? Turns out one of the things I heard was not the garbage truck. It was somebody shooting somebody in the face.
In the face.
Nice.
Point blank range. Before he got out of his truck, the guy walked up to him and shot him while he was like getting out of his truck. Shot him in the face. It was the apartments behind our apartment building. And it was the landlord. And I guess he was trying to evict somebody or something. And the guy didn't like it. So shot him in the face.
Yeah.
And I saw it all and everything. Like
you saw the shot face guy?
Oh yeah, I saw the brains and everything on the pavement. Like there was a tarp over him, and then like there was a gust of wind, and that tarp blew up, and I saw it.
Oh fuck!
And
nice.
Yeah, it was. My roommate's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Huh." And it phased me not at all. I get phased more like fake blood and gore on TV and movies than I do at like real stuff, and I think that's probably my mom's influence of being a nurse and just kind of having that.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so yeah, I'm like, I just thought that was kind of a fun anecdotal thing. So it turns out after, I finally go to a new doctor, like my doctor isn't there or something. And I ended up getting this other doctor that my GI doctor was like a mentor to, which I didn't know this. And so now this doctor is my permanent doctor now. The reason why is because he figured out what the hell was wrong with me. So my immune system brought down, obviously, and I was susceptible to getting sick. Turns out I have something called histoplasmosis, which for those of you who don't know, I live in the Mid-South in the Memphis area. And this is a very much the flight migration pattern of birds, geese, ducks, whatever, going south, going north for the week, back and forth. We're right in the middle, right? This is where they come through. When birds and ducks and bats, whatever, when they fly, they poop in the air, and stuff gets on their wings and, and they flap and it gets all up in the air. You're inhaling it every single day. Every single one of us is. We're all inhaling it.
Yeah.
But if you are immunocompromised, it's going to affect you more. And so it put a spot on my lungs.
Jesus.
And basically it just made me sick and it just wouldn't go away. And so until I got and they did a whole test and like, yeah, that's what it looks like. They did an x-ray. They could see the spot. And like, this is probably histoplasmosis. Here's the medicine. I got better like that. Like it took no time to get better. Like my body was like, yes, thank God, this is the right stuff.
What? I wonder what made that doctor think like, maybe it's bird shit.
Well, because he knows that it happens more in this area for people who are immunocompromised, especially like older people, and or anybody who's been really sick. And that was one of his things he had learned on while being a resident. And he was like, this sounds like really similar to stuff I've seen before. So he figured it out. So thankfully, I, kept him as a doctor, of course. Like, yeah, you're my doctor now.
What's his name? Dr. House?
No, it's not. But it's funny because he's in the queer community too. So I'll see him out and about every so often, and it's just funny. And like, that's my doctor. But yeah, so like everything that could happen to me was like happening. Like, why does stuff keep happening to me?
Yeah.
I didn't understand. And a lot of it was neglect, I think, from that first doctor who I saw. I was like, if something had been taken care of, I probably wouldn't have needed to ever go to the hospital. You know?
That guy did not feel like investigating anything. He was just like, nah, it's this.
Yeah, take this pill.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that, so I started looking into, a lot more Crohn's and whatnot. And as I got older and like I got things more under control, and when I started smoking pot more and I was calming down, I wasn't having stomach problems that much. I'm like, oh, and I started thinking, oh, stress is what's causing these, I'm like, but what am I stressed about? Because everyday life stuff. Am I that stressed about everyday life stuff? I'm like, kind of. And then when the pandemic hit and I started staying home and I started self-diagnosing more like everybody did, and I went, oh, I think I'm autistic. And then I started looking up, people who are neurodivergent, autistic, ADHD stuff tend to have stomach problems.
Yeah.
Because they're stressed all the time for trying to mask or assimilate themselves into situations.
Right.
And it's very stressful. And I started thinking like, you know what? That's true.
Because it's when you went away to college. Yeah.
When I went away to college, I wasn't prepared for that. I was, and all through my life, like before that, I had stomach problems before I left school, but it wasn't as bad until I left, and whole new adult world. I was not prepared at all for it. I hate to say that. I love my parents. I do, but they did not prepare me at all for adulthood at all.
I don't think any parents really do. They're just like, figure it out. Bye.
So to wrap up everything, the medical industry sucks.
Yes.
And you need to, do all your homework, go see multiple people for opinions. Yeah.
And don't just trust your doctor because they're a doctor. Because sometimes they're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Or they're in the pocket of big pharma or
or
hospitals.
To write prescriptions.
I think the name of this podcast is going to change once again to just fuck my medical life. We'll have to change the initials though.
Flip the W into an M.
Right.
There you go.
So before we sign off, Dustin, why don't you let everyone know about your podcasts and where they can find you?
Of course. Thank you, Kay. So I do 2 podcasts. One is Dustin Can Read and Watch, in which Kay was my guest this month for February. We answered love advice and we talk about the whale watching trip and everything that you've heard about a couple episodes ago. The other show I'm on, which Kay has also been on, the Rewatch Recap, where we recap shows that are a little bit older, just slightly. And if we still like them, Kay did My So-Called Life and some Buffy episodes with me. And we're hoping to do more going forward. So keep a lookout for that. Jay, I think it would be great to have you on one of those. I think it'd be fun. Even if we did like a TV movie or something small and short. So we'll probably do that sometime. So if you want to find me, you can find me at Dustin Can Read on Instagram, at the Rewatch Recap on Instagram and Threads, and at Dustin_Holden on TikTok. So there you go.
Yeah, go listen to all his shows. He's currently recapping The Magicians, making me watch that goddamn show.
Most people love The Magicians, so
I know,
I'm telling
a lot
you right now,
do.
Season 1 is the harder season to get through. It's usually the harder season for most shows, especially popular ones. So get through it. You're getting into season 2. I think you're going to really start liking it from here on out. We'll see.
I was going to say, like, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the show, I was a fan of listening to you and Oraline recap it because you guys have like really good takes on it and really good conversation around it. So,
well, thank you. We appreciate that.
But, hand movement.
Yeah. Tutting. All right.
Oh, you got the term. Oh, good for you.
Yay. All right, everybody, go check out Dustin. If you have any fuck your medical life stories or fuck your dating life or
fuck your any life.
Fuck your any life.
I've got fucking your dating life stories for days, by the way. Okay. So I can come back and talk about that at some point.
Or fuck my in-laws. Anything.
But don't fuck your in-laws.
Don't fuck your in-laws, but you know.
I mean, you could.
Okay.
You wouldn't end up with like short arm people, but
I mean, okay. Anywho, talk to you next time, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Fuckers.
Bye, fuckers. Thank you for listening to the Fuck My Whole Life podcast. If you have a story to share, send it our way to fmwlpod@gmail.com. or leave a voicemail at 310-818-3273. For more fun content, check out our socials at fmwlpod and join our Discord community to chat with us and your fellow fuckers. All links can be found in the show notes. Until next time, bye fuckers.